All right. Welcome in to a Hump Day Wednesday edition of the Sports Huddle on SEMO ESPN Radio. 1220 AM, 93.5 FM, and we're always online. You can find us at SEMOESPN.com. Eric Shawn and the lead singer of the Mike Rennick Band in studio are Yuengling Sports Huddle Studios. Yuengling is the iconic American lager, America's oldest brewery. Yuengling, if you'd like to be a part of the huddle, here's the EBOMD Huddle Hotline number, 573-334-1220. 573-334-1220. The Huddle Hotline powered by EBOMD. Mr. Michael Rennick in the house. Looking good.
Hey, Sean, how are you doing?
I used to have a shirt like that.
Oh, you did?
It was light blue with a collar, button up. It was a United States Navy dungaree shirt. I had to wear one every day to freaking work.
So it looks familiar to you, huh?
4 years of wearing dungarees and bell bottoms, man. We had the worst uniforms in the military, the United States Navy. Now, the officers, man, they had great uniforms, but and we have the dumbest looking hats in all of the military, the Gilligan style. You call them covers in the Navy. Yeah, but where's your cover? Put your cover on.
And it was a Gilligan style cover.
Yes. Now, you didn't wear it like Gilligan wore it. You know, you had the brim flipped up.
Yeah, you had to have it up.
So flashbacks to the Navy there. Boy, I had just about the best duty station in the entire Navy. 4 years, Key West, Florida. Never saw a boat. I saw a few boats way off in the distance when we would fly our jets somewhere and go on a detachment. Saw some boats way off in the distance, but I never stepped foot on a boat 4 years in the Navy. I had really good orders.
Well,
you ever been down to Key West?
No. I've been down to Fort Myers.
Okay,
which isn't
Fort Myers.
Terribly far from there, but it's not Key West.
South Fort Myers, where my grandmother used to own a condominium. And a few years back, we played at Florida Gulf Coast in basketball. I rented a car. I just wanted to go see where my late grandmother. I used to come up and visit her when I was in the Navy in Key West. And you used to have to cut across the Everglades. You know, you take US 1 up and then, hang a left. So she's in South Fort Myers at a condo joint called Cinnamon Cove. Looked a lot different. I hadn't been there in years. But it was 242 miles from my base at NAS Key West to South Fort Myers. I used to make that drive. So, yeah, Fort Myers is great.
It is, yeah. It's a nice area and a lot of people.
Did you go to Sanibel Island while you were there?
I think we did.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's a kind of highfalutin, expensive.
Yeah, we did.
Expensive place to live. In fact, it's probably still the same way. You had to pay money just to go. It was a toll bridge. You had to pay a toll just to get to
I could be wrong, but it got
Sanibel.
Really damaged.
I think it did a few years ago.
With the last hurricane. I mean, big time. But it's hot in that area, though. I mean,
I'm telling you,
heat
Key West.
Stop.
It didn't get Midwest hot down in Key West. I mean,
really?
I just don't remember it being so persecutingly hot down there. Now, it never got cold.
Sure.
The first time I flew into Key West International Airport, smaller airport, but on the side of the terminal, as you're walking from, you're out on the tarmac, and as you're walking into the terminal, on the side of the terminal, it said, "Welcome to Key West, Florida, Florida's only frost-free city." Now, that was a long time ago. So I guess they're saying that it has never even frosted in Key West.
Something to be known for.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. You travel 150 miles north of Key West because there's a string of islands, 30-plus islands, 40 bridges, whatever it is. The very last island is Key West. It's 4.5 miles by 1.5 miles. So you start in Key West, you drive 150 miles north, you get to Miami, where the Cardinals are.
See, it was a great segue, right?
Trying to work it in there.
We were teeing up the Florida talk.
And another win for the Cardinals. The offense, and nobody's throwing balloon parties. Nobody's having a parade. But Monday night, 10 hits. Last night, 12 hits. Starting to do a little something. Edward Cabrera got hit hard. He's been a pretty good pitcher. He's got good stuff for the Miami Marlins. And you paying attention to their catcher?
The guy that can't catch the ball, you mean?
Oh, my goodness.
He's more of a swatter than he is a catcher.
Agustin Ramirez, 23 years old. I mean, they moved Ivan Herrera from back behind the plate because, they didn't, I don't think they liked his catching mechanics, his throwing mechanics, pop times, nothing good. They gave up a lot of stolen bases, so they decided, plus to avoid injury, they moved Herrera. This Ramirez guy, man, I can't imagine that locker room has a lot of confidence in that guy behind the plate. Maybe he's just had a bad week. I don't know.
It could be, yeah. Yeah, but I can't remember, since he's had 2 games that haven't been that great. Was it yesterday or today or the day before where it was, the ball was just borderline inside, and he gets all, gets the elbow up trying to catch it.
Last night.
Okay,
yeah.
and then it deflects, and Mason Wynn scores from third base, and it just looks very uncomfortable.
Even, Chip and Brad Thompson were talking about it. It's been a rough couple of games. We'll see. It's a day game after a night game. I don't know if he'll be in there. He is their 3-hole hitter, although he's hitting .238. He did have a hit yesterday, but they've got some catching issues in Miami.
Now, remember, today, it's not a day game.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. It's 5:40.
5:40.
You're right.
Yeah. So maybe he will be in there.
So that's the 4th mistake I've made already in the show. So we're charting them.
5th.
5:40 first pitch, and we will see Andre Palante versus Sandy Alcantara. How about McGreevy last night?
Thought he looked good.
Had a couple of hiccups.
Yeah.
Had a bad throwing error at third base. Now, he gave up 4 runs. 3 were earned. The unearned run came on a ball back to him, and he just threw it wide of third base.
Well, I think he pitched fine. I think if you've been someone who's been, advocating for him to be in the rotation, you probably are fine with the way he's pitched in replace of, Eric Fetty. I'm pretty jazzed about their bullpen.
Got it done again.
You get rid of Helsley and Maton.
You've been following what Helsley's doing with the Mets?
Oh, he's terrible.
He is just getting torched.
So let's just, all the naysayers that were naysaying that deal, and who, obviously I know the Cardinals got prospects, but he's just getting lit up, which is fine. He's, Cardinals need the Mets to lose as often as possible, which they've been doing that quite often. But anyway, the retooled bullpen, I think, is, they've been just as good as the bullpen that you traded away. You mentioned, is it Swanson?
Yeah.
You mentioned,
again,
him and, Romero, and just the whole crew of young guys has been really good.
So Helsley, since coming to the Mets, it has not been good. Trying to see, his ERA has gone from under 3 to 3.61 since he took over. And he's not in, the 8th inning is, depending on the game, a high leverage spot, and they're going to bring him in high leverage spots. So he's not pitching the 9th inning anymore, but not good. Swanson pitching on back-to-back days once again. Got it done last night. 1 inning, no hits, 2 Ks. He threw 11 pitches, lowered his ERA to 2.16. And then JoJo Romero, again in the 8th inning, and I think is that 3 days in a row from Romero?
Sure feels like it.
Yeah. And then Riley O'Brien, I thought, okay, this guy's going to cough it up. Lead-off walk in the 9th. I'm like, oh, come on. Let's not. Because, it's a 2-run game.
Yeah.
But he got the job done.
He threw 8 balls in a row. And then he just shut them down. So that was good to see.
No hits, but 2 walks, couple of strikeouts for Riley O'Brien. His second save, Cards stay 5 back. And after the game, and we've got some more info on Oliver Marmol, but here were his thoughts on Michael McGreevy and the little resurgence in offense. 22 hits so far in the series for Oliver Marmol's Redbirds.
That was a dynamic baseball game. We did a lot of things well. I like the overall approach offensively. We, again, used the whole field. I mean, everyone was shooting that 4-hole, and it worked out really well. We were able to steal some bases, what Mason did today. I mean, he's one of the most dynamic players in the game. Like, that was a really good showcase of what he's capable of doing. So happy about that. But overall, a really well-played game. What we did today, man, I just love the approach. If we miss the way we wanted to miss. And for the most part, we executed exactly what we wanted to do. So Herrera driving the ball that way, Contreras, Pajes, I mean, you go down the list, man, it was really good. Burleson driving it to left field there. It was just a really well-played game. Saggy continues to take really good at-bats and collect hits as well, so nice job. Yeah, that's going to continue to get better, but some of these guys, you just give them time and allow the work that they're doing in the cage to start translating to the field, and we're starting to see that, whether that's just more direct to the ball or pitch recognition or a combination of those two. Yeah, that's what allows him to have success. He's not going to let that snowball, and a lot of guys, especially at his age, would. But for him to check the run at third, laugh, and say, I'm not going to do that again, it shows exactly who he is. But he pitched well. I mean, the ground ball past the JC there for 2 runs. But overall, I mean, used the fastball up and the cutter up, which allowed the changeup down to play against some of those lefties and made some big pitches and big moments. So, yeah, Swanson continues to do a really nice job as well. 2 punch-outs there. And it was good to see Riley kind of regroup and not allow the game to speed up after the 2 walks and get the 2 punch-outs.
All right, so a couple of things there. The second reference to the Cardinals' second baseman, he said Saggy.
Saggy.
Are you all right with Saggy? His name is Saggy, but he's...
I can see why they would call him that.
Yeah, he's got 2 G's in the middle of the name.
Right, but that may be a nickname you don't refer to yourself as.
Does this anger you that it's Saggy?
Maybe not to the level of anger, but... If I were him, I'm not certain how much I'd like that nickname. Call me Saggy, maybe? Sage? But I can see where Saggy comes from.
You all right with T-Sag or no?
No.
Yeah.
I don't really like that.
I don't like it either.
To me, that's...
maybe Saggy grows on me. I'm not a fan, at the moment, not a fan of Saggy.
T-Sag and makes it sound like you're putting too much effort into it.
Right.
You're putting too much effort into trying to find a nickname for somebody.
He can go by whatever name he wants if he continues to get 3 hits and score 2 runs.
Well,
that's
that's very true. That's very true. He's he hit a slow point for a little while here, but he's picking it back up. Again, getting more playing time. Donovan on the IL, he'll get even more playing time. So hopefully, with those increased at bats, you get a chance to see what he really looks like.
So JC in the last 2 weeks, 43 at bats. He's hitting .326
in the last 2 weeks.
Yes,
we'll take that.
Now just 2 extra base hits, but he's still hitting .326. So he's doing the job while Brendan Donovan is out, and I'm fine with Saggy.
He's kind of another Brendan Donovan, isn't he? Kind of from the from the right side. I mean, he's got versatility. Can play probably every infield position, I would guess.
And now the 2 errors in the 9th inning Sunday against the Yankees.
Yeah, that's not
that
good.
was frustrating. But what he has shown you is the ability to make the throw from third base to the first base bag without racking up an E5.
Yeah, that's always nice to see.
Gorman 0 for 3, couple of Ks last night, and no Jordan Walker as the Cardinals went with Lars Nootbaar in right field last night. Nootbaar, 2 hits, 5 at-bats, scored a run. Everything was good last night. Ivan Herrera drove in 3, and they talked a little bit about it on the broadcast, about Herrera mentally making a stand for him that he wants to go back and catch. I wonder how that's going to go. Because, man, that frees things up a lot for Marmol or whoever is the manager for the Cardinals next year, where Herrera just has to be. I mean, they tried him in left field. Remember when they tried Matt Adams out there, and it was a disaster? They put Colton Wong in the outfield. You remember that? He's base planted at Wrigley Field. So I don't know if he can come back and catch right now. I think the Cardinals have 2 pretty good catchers. And Paez is hot.
So you said he has said that he wants to come back to catch?
Yeah, they talked about it last night, that he is talking about catching again. I mean, he's always been a catcher.
Right, yeah. That'd be...
With the injuries, though, and how desperate they are to keep his bat in the lineup, they shied away from it. But I don't think, in fact, I know no one has said he's no longer a catcher like they said with Wilson Contreras.
Yeah.
So I just wonder where Paez or Pozo's position will be next year, because the Cardinals just take their catchers and move them to other places, right?
Yeah, they do.
I mean, Herrera's playing left. Contreras, now he's not our catcher. I mean, he wasn't even there 3 weeks, and they took him out from being a catcher. Then he went back to catching.
I don't think Pozo or Paez, their bat probably doesn't play anywhere else right now.
I don't know. Pozo's bat
he can hit.
Can play.
He can hit, but I don't see him playing center field. Do you?
That would be negatory on the center field. Speaking of center field, Nathan Church still looking for his first hit, but he got the safety squeeze bunt down for an RBI last night. A couple of games ago, he made a fabulous catch out in right center field. His minor league numbers suggest that he has a high ceiling. Still looking for his first major league hit, however.
I think did Mozeliak say he probably has the best arm in the outfield? Got a really good arm, really good center fielder. Nice to see him get that first hit, though. I think his family just keeps following him around wherever
I don't know. Have they
he's
shown?
going.
Did they show them?
I
in the
haven't
crowd?
seen him. Yeah, I haven't really seen him, but
yeah, I don't know.
You'd hate to miss out on that.
Churchy, what do you think? Churchy?
I don't know. I'm sure it's probably something like that.
Everyone's got a. I mean,
Got an E.
Everybody's got some sort of a nickname.
Yeah.
So that's Oliver Marmol. Now, yesterday we talked about the article and the interview that Ken Rosenthal did with Oliver Marmol. Well, Ken Rosenthal does a podcast called Foul Territory. This particular segment that I'm going to play you, former Cardinal A.J. Pierzynski, who was at Busch Stadium over the weekend, part of the broadcast team with Adam Amin and Adam Wainwright for Fox. Yesterday on Foul Territory, and they cover a lot of different topics, but they went into the interview with Ollie Marmol and getting Ken Rosenthal's thoughts on whether or not he thinks Oliver Marmol will be back next year in the Cardinal dugout. Here is Pierzynski and Ken Rosenthal on the podcast Foul Territory.
Know about Ollie. You kind of hit on it just in your answer right there. But my thing is can you blame him? I think he's doing a pretty damn good job for the team he was given. The last 2 years, I mean, Arenado is done for the year, I would think. I don't know that for sure, but there's no indication he's coming back anytime soon. A lot of their pitching has gone down. They traded away their team. They're still hovering around 500. I know they got swept by the Yankees, but I think he's doing a damn good job for the teams he's been handed. 22, he gets there. They still have a really good team. Goldschmidt wins the MVP, that whole thing. 23 they still have Wainwright and Yachty, and they're doing the whole thing, right? And then 24 and 25 come, and the team kind of, 23 Yachty was gone, I think, too, but whatever. They kind of, all right, we're not going to spend money. We're going to do this rebuild, whatever they want to call it, retool, whatever they're calling it in the Cardinal land. But how can you blame Ollie? Managers are only as good as their players, and good managers can make good players better. But if you're you could be the greatest manager in the world, and you have a crappy team, and you get what you get out of him. I think Ollie does a good job.
Well, you guys were just talking to Evan Grant from the Dallas Morning News. Bruce Bochy is a good manager, and that team has underperformed. Not Bruce Bochy's fault. So you didn't ask me this, AJ, but do I think he's done a good job? Yes, I do. That wasn't the premise of the article at all. What the premise was initially, at least up top when I started the introduction, what I wrote was that perhaps no manager was in as uncomfortable a position entering the season as Marmol. And there were a lot of reasons for that. One, the team on the field was, as you said, AJ, in transition. They were going younger. They were trying to evaluate young players. Also, they have a president of baseball operations, John Mozeliak, in his last year before being replaced by Chaim Bloom, who was in the organization and evaluating in his own right. And then you had and have Pujols and Molina sitting out there, very public in their desires to manage. So from all of those perspectives, how he's handled it, all those different angles, I would say, yes, he's done very well. And the team has played probably better than a lot of us thought it would. So based on this year, I would expect that he is back next year. I don't know that Chaim Bloom is going to make a change just for the sake of change. I want my own guy. I don't know that he will do that right away. Ultimately, sure, that could happen. But for now, I would expect that Marmol would be back.
All right. Your thoughts on Pierzynski and Rosenthal there?
Well, I think if you recall, if you roll back the tape to yesterday.
I'll roll it back.
I think I made those exact same points after we discussed this, and so I'm in full agreement with them. I think he'll be back. I like, now, also rolling back the tape, I think you had mentioned after the trade deadline went down that you did not think, well, then he scuffled, that we would see Nolan Arenado again this season, that there would be some sort of IL stint that would happen with him, and that appears to be pretty close to being the case. I mean, he's obviously been on the IL for quite some time. Is it shoulder? Is that what they're
saying?
Said?
Shoulder, right?
Yeah, I think I did read that they thought he may join the team potentially in Miami.
He is there.
He is there.
Been in the dugout for these two games.
So curious to see how long that will drag on for. Is the shoulder the issue with the bat? Is that why he has not hit at all? I don't know. But
34 years old has something to do with it.
That could. But a lot of things out of Ollie's control that I think he's managed through pretty well.
So Daniel Guerrero of the Post-Dispatch did an article on Arenado, who is with the team in Miami. He went on the 10-day injured list August 1st, and Arenado told Guerrero he's making strides in his recovery while the pain in his right shoulder has lessened. Now, he's been at the club's complex in Jupiter, Florida, and it could come as early as Thursday or Friday when he could be cleared to begin hitting. That's a possibility, tomorrow or Friday. Here's the quote from Arenado. Obviously frustrated, but at the same time, I feel myself getting better. Just trying to look at the positive, stay positive about those things. I like the way I'm starting to feel. I'm just hopeful that the pain goes away and I can come back and play. He also went on to say, I don't like missing games. I love to play. Not being able to has been frustrating. At the same time, I've been trying to just work hard, find my way back. That's it. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I watch the games every night. I'm paying attention.
What does that mean?
I don't know. He's watching the games. But Guerrero did insert this interesting note. Tell me if you think it's interesting.
Okay.
This injured list stint marks the fourth time in 13 years in the majors Arenado has been sidelined on the IL. 2 of those instances came at the end of seasons when his teams were out of playoff contention. Think that's a coincidence?
I mean, I don't know.
It's a fact.
I don't know if it's a coincidence, but
You read in it what you will.
Yeah.
That is perfect for the conspiracy theorist people.
So they mentioned the 22 club. That club had Pujols and Molina, correct?
22, I don't believe. I got to check. That was Goldschmidt's MVP.
Right, and Arenado finished third.
Yeah, I think it was.
Because then they retired after that.
I think it was, yeah.
And 23 was terrible.
Because they made the playoffs in 22.
Yeah. Again, lost to Philly, right?
And Ryan Helsley wet the bed.
Yes. Yeah.
And you can make an argument Marmol wet the bed when he took Quintana out of the game.
Yeah, very, very much could.
And then running Helsley back out for the 9th after he got out of the 8th inning when he had some sort of a numb finger. I don't know. Wasn't it a numbness in his hand or his finger?
Something like that, yeah.
It was just some kind of an excuse for a bedwetting. And as far as Arenado goes, right now, with no offense to Nolan Arenado, but we're getting to see some of the younger guys play a little bit more. So JC's played over there. Nolan Gorman has played over there. I am hoping that J.J. Weatherholt will play over there before the season is over. We shall see. Signs are not trending in a Weatherholt direction, though, after the comments from Mosaic. But we'll see. And if you are waking up this morning, the Cardinals are 5 games out in the wild card.
30-something to go?
Everybody ahead of them is on a winning streak. Well, their last game they won. The Reds have won 3 in a row. Mets have won 3 in a row. Padres won last night. And the Cubs swept the doubleheader from the Brewers. Have lost 2 in a row for the first time since late July. What is going on?
Time for a change.
It's tumbling to the ground in Milwaukee, and they've still got 2 more games in that series. They had the second game of the doubleheader on Monday rained out. That's a 5-game series that they're playing, and so they'll play tonight, and then they'll finish that series tomorrow. So they're hopeful to get all 5 games in. But the Cubs did sweep a doubleheader yesterday.
That's the tough part for the Cardinals. 5 games is not unheard of to be able, but you got more than one team. You got to leap. You got the Reds playing well, and the
Reds and the Mets.
Yeah. So it's not like you're just chasing one team right now. And obviously, Cardinals just have only won 2 in a row, so they gotta keep the winning going, and get some help from the teams above them.
So the Mets are 67 and 58. They've got the 3rd wild card. The Reds are 1 game back. The Cardinals are 5 games behind. And the Cubs have a 4.5 game lead for the number 1 wild card spot. Unlikely they're 7 out. Unlikely they're going to catch the Brewers because I don't know if you really have paid attention. You probably have not because you don't care about the Cubs. I understand that. But at the All-Star break, first of all, they had a 6.5 game lead prior to the All-Star break over the Brewers. Then they went into the series and lost game 1 against the Brewers, and they're 9 games out. So put a fork in the Cubs as far as chasing down the division. Now, we've seen a run by a lot of wild card teams deep into the playoffs and winning world championships as a wild card. But the biggest reason as far as the Chicago Cubs go, now you tell me, does this surprise you? The Cubs, prior to the All-Star break, okay, they were red hot, and their offense had been carrying the team. They were second in Major League Baseball in runs scored in the first half. And I say first half up until the All-Star break. We know that's not the actual halfway point of the season. So they're number 2 in runs scored. Since the All-Star break, 29th. How many teams are on Major League Baseball? 30. Only one team sucks more than the Cubs offense in the second half since the break. 29th. First half, second in slugging percentage. Second half, 25th. And then home runs, they were third at the All-Star break. In the second half, they are 23rd in hitting the baseball out of the ballpark.
But what happened? I mean, injuries? I mean,
guys have just
tanked.
Gone it.
Kyle
Tucker sucks so bad that Craig Counsell had to bring him up in the post-game press conference and say, we're going to sit him for a little while. He needs a break. He's in a walk year. I mean, there are guys talking about a $500 million contract for Tucker.
Talking about him being a Hall of Famer.
No, I don't know about that. Got a ways to go. Right now, he is Jason Hayward. Every at-bat is a ground ball to the second baseman. It is unbelievable. I mean, I don't know if he's in his own head. I saw a breakdown on MLB TV about its mechanical thing, and they're going to try to get him in the hitting lab, quote-unquote, get him in the cage, try to make a couple of adjustments in his swing. We don't know. But when you are in a walk year expecting a massive deal and you are hitting 169 since the middle of July, what are we talking about here?
So you're saying he won't be a Cub next year?
I didn't think he was going to be a Cub next year, even if he had a great year. And he got off to a great start because I thought the Cubs would be too cheap to sign him, and one of the big boys would swoop in and sign him. I don't know what's going on with Tucker. Seiya Suzuki has gone into the tank. Pete Crow Armstrong has slowed way down. But they did sweep that doubleheader yesterday. They've got a good young prospect named Owen Casey. Hit his first big league homer yesterday. He made a couple of plays, had a couple of hits. Looks like he's going to be an impact guy. And the most important thing is he's a ginger, which is critical. And I knew you'd appreciate that.
I do appreciate that. I know how much you feel for the gingers.
I am sympathetic.
You have ginger sympathy.
I am sympathetic to the ginger. So I'm watching.
How do these gingers play baseball in the sun? I mean, do you think they have to use a certain?
You got to slather.
A certain. Okay.
You've got to slather.
Okay.
You got to go 100 SPF and slather. There's no other way.
Slather is the word.
Yeah. Slather is the key. Yesterday, so I'm watching the Cubs game on MLB TV. And so there is a spot in the game where, you know how camera people are. They're going to get you some shots from the crowd. They're going to, if you're at Wrigley Field, they're going to get you some shots from the bleachers. And so they hone in on these two guys. I don't know, they look like they're in college. They're college-age guys, okay? Sitting out in the bleachers. One guy's got a Cubs jersey on. The other guy is in a tan T-shirt and shorts. And the other guy has a laptop computer on his lap. he's got a mouse pad and a mouse in the bleachers at Wrigley for the baseball doubleheader. I mean, it's not just that he brought the laptop. He's got the mouse and the mouse pad, and John Shambi and Jim DeShays, with the camera on him, discussed Laptop Guy.
How badly do you want it? Did you bring your mouse? You better bring your mouse. And then there's only one Is this working? There's only one question. Is this guy doing work, or my other thought is he's going over fantasy football draft?
Could be.
But
I mean, he could be working, This is the makeup game, right?
So,
do you remember the conversation about the best fans in baseball?
Yes.
What did I say about Cubs fans?
They don't pay attention.
They don't pay attention to the game. They may flock to the stadium.
Do you think he has a point that he was working on his fantasy football draft?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not a good point if that's what he was doing. I could see maybe if it was. Well, I don't know. No, I just can't. I can't get into that.
So later in the game, they went back out to those guys on a camera. And so,
did they interview them at all? They didn't interview camera on them and
camera on them.
Because sometimes the Cardinals will go approach, with Jim Hayes and say,
Jim Hayes.
"Hey, we've been,
So the female reporter that they've got is down by the dugout. She would have had to have gone all the way out to the bleachers, and apparently she didn't want to put in the cardio.
Oh, see.
So they didn't get out there.
Okay,
but later in the game, they go back to those guys who clearly had their phones and laptop blow up because they were talking about him on the Cubs broadcast. And so they're out there laughing and waving and everything. So everybody let them know that they became a topic for the Cubs broadcast on Marquee Sports.
Wow.
That was pretty good.
Best fans in baseball.
All right, Rob Manfred made some headlines Sunday night. He joined the ESPN Sunday night broadcast booth with Carl Ravitch, David Cohn, Eduardo Perez, and he was talking about Major League Baseball expansion and potentially realignment. A lot of people have jumped on that cover Major League Baseball, and they have come out with, here's what I think Major League Baseball should do. You should realign here. You want to hear from the commish and people who have chimed in on it?
Let's get chiming.
All right. Also, college football is right around the corner. There have been some humans who have, stupid money. They've already laid down their bets about who's going to win the college football national championship. You're not going to believe the dollar amounts on some of these guys. And sportsmanship at the Little League World Series. Do you steal a base up 13-0 late? Sports Huddle coming right back. SEMO ESPN. It's the Sports Huddle. SEMO ESPN. 1220 a.m., 93.5 FM, and online at SEMOESPN.com. From the Yuengling Sports Huddle Studios, Yuengling, the iconic American lager, America's oldest brewery. Yuengling, that's how you get juiced. For a segment on the radio, we get a little Juice Newton.
Oh, I thought you liked Shaggy. Guess not.
Little Juice Newton for you. So, college football right around the corner. There are some people who have already laid down some big dollars. Mike, have you ever laid a bet down on DraftKings or any? I get you've done fantasy before, right? Football, baseball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so technically, I think they call that gambling, kind of.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that.
Yeah,
because if you pay to be in it or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. So here are some bets. These are the lists so far, and we've got a little ways to go before we kick off the season. The largest wagers to win the college football playoff at legal U.S. sports books. Tied for first. Someone at BetMGM has laid down a $300,000 bet, Mike, for the Texas Longhorns to win the national championship at plus 500 odds. The payout, $1.5 million.
That's a lot of money. $300,000 for the Longhorns.
Yes. And in terms of the payout, tied for first is another bettor who has put $200K on Penn State to win the national championship. And if you go back to the preseason AP poll, Texas was number one, barely edging out Penn State. These are the top two teams in the preseason poll. What does that translate to? Nobody knows. But this person placed the $200K bet at plus 750, so they would also win $1.5 million. And there is an individual who has put $115,000 on Clemson at BetMGM at 13-1 odds. The payout for that, $1.495 million.
Yeah, those are bets, risky bets. You know, you don't know how the season's going to play out. But if they play out in their favor, then they're going to be doing a little dance at the end of the year.
Try not to laugh here. I've got another one here. Someone has a different budget than the previously mentioned bettors. $200 bet.
Okay.
By an individual at the Hard Rock Bet has put down $200 on the Navy midshipman to win the national championship at 1,000-1 odds. The payout would be $200K.
You said not to laugh, so
$200 on Navy.
Yeah.
And being a Navy guy, did 4 years in the United States Navy. I'm rooting for the midshipmen, but
reality sets in.
Yeah, that is the longest of the long shots. All right, I do want to get your thoughts on this. At the Little League World Series, that's a fun event. I mean,
I watched the game last night.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, kind of got a little bored with the Cardinals and watched the Little League World Series last night.
So, an opening round game last week took place between Nevada and Illinois. Illinois got smoked 16-1. Not competitive. Illinois, I think, had 3 hits in the baseball game. But late in the game, while leading 13-0, Nevada's coaches decided to call for steal attempts. And so on one play, the catcher is throwing the ball back to the pitcher, 13-0 game. And the kid takes off from first base and steals second base, and the third base coach is clapping. Great job, way to go. So clearly endorsing. Now in Major League Baseball or college baseball, trust me, college baseball too, somebody's wearing it.
Oh, yeah.
13-0 late, and you're stealing a base.
Maybe even high school baseball, depending on the coach, you know.
Did you see Matt Palmer left Cape Central?
I did not see that.
And is now a coach at Three Rivers. I thought that was interesting. But a guy like Matt Palmer who played in the major leagues,
right? You
might have to wear it if you steal a base against his team up 13-0.
Absolutely.
These are young kids, and there became a massive social media debate about this, about if that is absolutely poor sportsmanship and you are not teaching these kids the right way to play the game. There are unwritten rules in baseball. That is a big one. Up big late. Game is decided. You don't rub it in. There's a pass ball at the plate. You got a runner at third. Hold him. Base hit to center field with a runner at second. You're holding the runner at third. They call that station-to-station baseball, and it's played a lot in blowout games so as not to show up the opponent. Your thoughts on stealing bags, up 13-0.
Well, I think we probably agree that it seems a little bush league to do that. And now and if I were coaching, I wouldn't do that. I will say this though, you've got what are they 10 to 12-year-old kids playing?
Right.
You know, no lead. No lead is safe. You know, I mean, I don't know what innings that they began doing this. No lead is safe, especially at that age. So, you know, maybe there's some concession for you can't take anything for granted. You know, you're at the biggest stage of Little League baseball, and you can't let something slip away. And I kind of get that, but ultimately I think it's bush league and not something I would do.
I happen to agree with you.
Which part?
It's bush.
Yeah.
You can't do it. And I think you've got to instruct your players, listen, we're not rubbing anything in. We're going to play station to station. We're not going to try to score on a wild pitch if we've got a runner at third. Base hit to center. We got a runner at second. We're going to hold you at third, unless it's in the gap. You know, You're not going to make a mockery of the game. That's not what we're talking about.
And you also don't want to – you want to teach the game correctly as well. Sometimes, even when you're up, like you got to, you know, allow for certain things to take place because you don't want to teach the wrong thing, you know, in a given situation. You know, it's tough. I mean, it's a tough call to make. If they're kind of clapping and cheering it on, then you feel like it's a little bush league. You know, if the players were doing it on their own, you might get how they could get caught up in the excitement and maybe say, okay, that's enough. But seems like they were egged on quite a bit with it.
Doesn't look like we're going to have enough time to get to the Rob Manfred expansion and realignment. We can hit that tomorrow. It's not going anywhere. It's a big topic in Major League Baseball. Because I did want to get to this story by Kendall Baker. Kendall Baker put this out on social media on X. Guy that is pretty tuned in. Major League Baseball broadcasting rights, okay? ESPN opted out of its deal, but still is trying to negotiate and stay in the business of Major League Baseball. Apple, to the chagrin of many, has that Friday night contract. Friday night baseball, you can only watch it on Apple. Albert Pujols hit his 700th home run. It was an Apple TV game.
And it's really a darn good broadcast. From a technology side of things.
They do a good job as far as the technical stuff.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yep.
Better than Roku.
Sure.
Which is the Sunday games.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kendall Baker reporting yesterday, and we'll get much more follow-up on this today, that the MLB rights deals are close to being done, according to his sources. Here's what he's hearing. Apple is out for Friday Night Baseball. They've decided no go for them. So it must not have worked, or they got outbid. NBC and Peacock are now in for the Friday night games, and ESPN has held the Sunday night baseball game exclusive rights for years, right?
Right.
All the way back to John Miller and Joe Morgan.
Long as you can remember.
We grew up watching that.
Yeah, right.
NBC and Peacock is in for Friday and Sunday exclusive games and wild card games. So it looks like they're going to step in and take Apple's Friday nights, and they're going to get Sunday night baseball, and they're going to get some wild card action in the playoffs. NBC and Peacock, we'll get more on it. And now ESPN, who has sold a 10% stake in the company to the NFL.
Right.
According to Kendall Baker here, MLB TV, which I am a massive fan of, is being sold to ESPN.
MLB
for a
TV.
boatload of That's what he's saying. He said nothing is finalized, but he's going to have much more today in his newsletter. And one of the big caveats that ESPN had was the home run derby.
Mm-hmm.
He is reporting Netflix will now have the home run derby. If you are a Netflix subscriber and not have to pay anything, you can just turn on Netflix, watch the derby there. That's a big shakeup.
It's a big shakeup, but it is in line with what is happening with live sports.
Yeah.
It's all moving to the streaming services. I mean, you can start naming them off. The big sports, that are disbanding. I mean, NBA gone, and they're going to be on a streaming platform now. NFL has obviously got Prime, and they did some Netflix last Christmas.
Christmas Day games. Yeah, they're back on Netflix this year.
So I think it's a matter of time before you that's where it all will reside.
UFC just signed the $7 billion deal with Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
So what many have said is that,
and this is for next season.
Yeah, next year.
Wow.
For that UFC deal. You know how you want to watch a big UFC fight and it's freaking ESPN Plus pay-per-view. You're like, oh, man, I got to shell out $79.99 to watch this. No.
Right.
It's going away. If you're a subscriber to Paramount, you can watch the big fights without having to shell out pay-per-view money. I love that because I'm a Paramount Plus subscriber.
It's a very user-friendly way to do it.
And after the Jake Paul Mike Tyson boxing match on Netflix, quote unquote boxing match,
right?
This is a massive, massive fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. It's Netflix, man.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have to pay for it. If you're a Netflix subscriber, you can watch Canelo and Bud Crawford.
Yeah.
Now, they should have fought about 3 or 4 years ago, but they are going to fight. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll find out more today, just like we are supposed to find out today who Eli Drinkwitz is naming as his starting quarterback, Bo Prisbula or Sam Horn. Yesterday at his press conference, he said, I will have a definitive answer for you in 24 hours.
Now is Prisbula the guy from Penn State?
Penn State.
And Horn was at Notre Dame?
No, Horn has been here since he's a baseball player.
Oh, okay.
And he had Tommy John.
Didn't they have a backup that had played at Notre Dame a couple of years ago?
Yes. But it's not this guy.
Not that guy.
Sam Horn, I think he's thrown 8 passes in his career. I mean, he was a backup.
Okay.
Supposedly, he was battling it out with Brady Cook. And, Cook won the job. And, Horn just got drafted.
Yeah,
by the major leagues. So I mean, he could be headed to professional baseball. Likely will be, but Eli Drinkwitz also did not say when asked, okay, does this mean that this is for the entire season? Is this just for Central Arkansas? And then Drinkwitz, as he normally does, gives a snarky answer, but he'll have the information for everybody sometime today. That's according to Drinkwitz. The Tigers, by the way, if you're scoring at home, preseason SEC poll, this is from SEC Media, picked to finish 12th in the Southeastern Conference. Brady Cook, running game scuffled a bit last year. I think the running game is going to be better this year. We'll have to see how the quarterback situation plays out. That's despite, in the coaches poll, the final ranking of 20 nationally for Missouri. So there you go.
They lost They lost some receivers.
Yes. Namely,
Luther
Burden III.
Who's now a Bear.
Chicago Bear.
A Bear.
So there you go.
All right.
And it's Cardinals 540 tonight, and it's Andre Palante. Boy, we'd like to see Palante go out and have a good outing, sweep this series with the Marlins. Then they head to Tampa Bay. By the way, I found out why the Cardinals are playing Thursday, Friday, Sunday at Tampa. No game Saturday.
I would assume there's a concert.
There's not a concert.
What are you going to tell me?
The Tampa Bay Rays did not want to compete with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are playing on Saturday, a preseason game. So they are not playing Saturday. The Cardinals will have a day off in Tampa/St. Pete, Florida, on Saturday. A rare, and I mean rare, Saturday off without a rain out.
I was going to say, I mean, when's the last time that you would have seen that scheduled, other than maybe the start of I don't know, it's not even the start of the season, because they've started to do that Thursday, skip Friday, play Saturday, or whatever it is.
Yeah, Monday and Thursday are the traditional days off in baseball. Not Saturday.
They never schedule a Saturday off.
No.
Unless it's a rain out. But this is I
thought it was a misprint when I was looking at the schedule.
Do you
Wait
think
a minute.
Did they know that before the season started? Or was that the schedule came out and now we got to change this up a little bit?
Not really sure about that.
And how weak is that? Yeah. You're giving up
preseason
a Saturday game to a preseason game?
You're not even playing at the Trop. You're playing at a place that seats 11,000? George Steinbrenner Field?
Yeah, it's a minor league field.
They're trying to avoid traffic. Anyways,
I don't know.
That's the reason, if you were wondering, and I was wondering, what are we doing? Why is there a Saturday off? And I bet the players
probably
have
like
a problem with it. Yeah.
I mean, they probably don't know what day it is regardless, but interesting.
Okay, now you're a 3-day weekend guy, and so your final appearance on this presentation will be tomorrow, where we can get into the realignment and the expansion, Major League Baseball, the comments from Rob Manfred and everybody that covers baseball weighing in on how they think Major League Baseball should be restructured, if indeed it will. And Rob Manfred did exactly what he wanted to do, and that is circulate conversation about baseball by going on Sunday Night Baseball's broadcast.
That's right. You've been teasing this for 2 days now, so if we don't do it tomorrow,
got to do it tomorrow.
I'm going to be pretty disappointed.
That is a deep tease.
Doing my homework, ready to go with this.
I've already decided this is the new division I think is best for the Cardinals. Cardinals, Rockies, White Sox, Pirates. I think that's the division.
No, gotta get the Rockies out of there. Gotta get the Rockies out of there.
Can't beat the Rockies. All right, Mike. We'll see you tomorrow. Hello to the radiant and ravishing Dawn Shawn. She's got the day off tomorrow. Hope she has a wonderful day. Stay tuned. Clinton and Friends coming up. Thanks for joining us. Back tomorrow. Sports Huddle from the Yingling Studios.